Hey guys, it's Amy and this is Theodore and we're back for another craft time video.
Alright guys, so what we're going to do is an adjustable friendship bracelet. So you should be able to pull both ends and be able to take the bracelet on and off. So I just wanted to make sure and show you that in the beginning so you guys knew what we're doing. So first, collect your materials. You're going to need your friendship bracelet thread, something to attach it to a table, some scissors, and something to measure your string if you have it. So I started off with my measuring tape and I measured out about a foot and used that and just went back and forth 6 times so that I can get 72 inches and cut the string there. And then once I measured it once, then I just used that one string to measure out my other colors. If you don't have a measuring tape or a ruler, you can just use your fingertip to your shoulder 3 times. That should be about 72 inches at least. It should be long enough for your wrist. So once you've cut all 3 strings and match them up, make the ends match up, and then find your midpoint. So you're going to fold your string in half and find the middle, and you're going to make a loop at the middle, in the middle. So you're going to create a loop knot. So just stick one loop into another loop. You can make 2 loops with your finger, create the loop, or you could just cut the string and tie a knot at the end. It's not a big deal. All right, so then just find a way to secure your bracelet. So you can use any tape that you have. You should have some tape from your Wonder Girls week 1 activity. But you could also use binder clips. You can use a clipboard, anything that you want. If you're going to use a clipboard, then it's easier for you to take it with you to your couch or your bed or for a more comfortable position. But if you use a table, it's easier in the beginning to have an idea of what you're doing. So I would recommend you start off in a stationary spot, somewhere like a table, where you can spread out your string and see what you're doing. And then once you get the hang of it and you kind of learn the pattern, then you can clip it to a book or tape it to something, pin it to your pants, or tie it to your water bottle, whatever it is that you want to do. So it's going to be the first part, that's the adjustable twisty that we're going to start off working on first. So what you're going to do, it's very simple. You're going to twist half of the bracelet to the right. So 3 strings, twist them to the right. You can pick whichever ones, it doesn't matter. I picked 3 and 3 of each color. So you twist both of them to the right. Make sure that they're both going in the right direction, in the same direction. So just kind of eyeball it. I would say it's like about 2 inches, 2 or 3 inches. And then you start twisting them together to the left, and that's going to secure them. So just keep twisting them until it looks good to you. It should look like a cute little twisted pattern. And when you feel like it's a good length, just go ahead and tie them all together. So this part is going to be the part that you use to make your bracelet smaller or bigger. So it doesn't really matter how long it is. I would just make sure you don't make it too short, because then you don't have too much space to take it on and off. But also, like, the longer you make it, the more that it's going to be dangling off your wrist. So just consider that. So yeah, just make sure you tie a very tight knot to secure it in place and it won't come undone. And so yeah, that's the first part. And then we move on to the knots, which is the actual bracelet part itself. So to start off, what you're going to want to do is start arranging your strings. So you're going to put the same color on the outside, in the middle, and in the inside. So for me, it's teal, orange, blue, right? So imagine that there's a line down the middle. All right, start with your leftmost string and put it over your middle string and then under and through the loop. And then you go ahead and do it again for 2 knots. It's always going to be 2 knots per color. So go again on the innermost string. So 2 knots. Let me show that to you again. So over, create a 4 shape, and then through the loop. Go under and through the loop. And then you do it again because you need 2 knots. And then you move on to the next string, over and under 2 times. Okay, let's do it with the string now. So you're creating a 4 and you're going over and under your string. So I'm just showing you the 4 there. So I'm going through the loop and then I am tying the knot. So that's my first knot. And I'm careful to do it tight but not too tight. So there again, I put it over and under through the loop and then I tie it. So that first knot is done. So I move that color over and now I'm going to do it to the inner color. So I'm going over and under, creating a 4, tie my first knot, and then my second knot. And that finishes the left side. So leave that tying string in the middle and we move on to the right side. So on the right side, you're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be a backwards 4. So over and through the loop 2 times per string. Now you're going to take that right string and tie it over the left of the same color 2 times. And then you switch sides. And then you're done with 1 color. Let's see that again. So put a backwards 4, tie it twice, over and through the loop 2 times on both colors, both the middle and inner string. And then you're going to take that tying string and you're going to tie it over the left one, the one you had left in the middle, and you're going to switch sides. Alright, so let's see it with the string. So I'm grabbing my outside color and I am tying it over my middle string. So backwards 4, and tie it twice, 2 knots. So there's 1, there's 2. And then I move that middle string up and tie my outside string into my inner string twice. 1 and 2. My string kind of got tangled there. Kind of have to keep that in mind, guys. Especially in the beginning when the string's extra long. But anyway, I tied that twice around the blue string. And then I arranged my strings because they were getting a little messy. And then I'm going to take my right string, I'm going to do my backwards 4 onto my middle string, which is now the teal that I brought in from the other side when I tied the other side. So I'm going to do that twice. And that creates the point on the V of the chevron shape. So once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to switch the sides of the string. And now you're done with your V. So move on to the next color. So I'm doing my 4, tying my orangey coral string over my navy blue string, because I'm moving from the leftmost string towards the middle to create the V shape. So 2 knots per string. And then I'm going to leave it in the middle. And move to my rightmost string. And do my backwards 4. So I tie it over and under and through the loop for my new middle string, which is the navy blue. And just basically you just keep doing that with every color. So after I finish the orange, I will move on to the blue, and after I finish the blue, I'll be back on teal, and that will create the pattern. So I ended up moving on to taping the string to the table to help make it easier to see what's happening. It helps organize things. Just, you can do that in the beginning, and then as you feel more comfortable that your strings aren't going to be mixed up, then you can take it off. So that's what you just see me doing here. And then here's a close-up so you can see all the different knots. So right there I tied the green, and you can see that's 1 knot, 2 knots, and then I move on to the blue. You kind of start to learn the pattern as you go along. You kind of learn to see what 2 knots looks like, and then you know, well, okay, I did my 2 outer colors, now I leave it in the middle, then I can move on to the other side, get my knots on that side, and move into the middle. You just see the V shape forming as you go along. So you can kind of see better how it looks like whenever you tie that middle string. Alright, and then we do the last part, which is the adjustable twisty part at the end. So you can kind of just measure it around your wrist to decide when you want to stop. Once you pick a good spot, you can make it wrap around your wrist completely, or if you get tired, you can just make it one chunk of your wrist. But then when you're done, you go ahead and you tie a knot and try and get it as close as possible to the bracelet so you don't have a bunch of string showing. And then we're going to do the same thing we did in the beginning, right? So you're going to twist both or 3 strings to the right again, and then twist them onto themselves. Alright, so now twist them to the left, and that will create your twisty. So just what I did is I folded the bracelet over so that I knew how long to keep doing that for. So then when you get it about the same length, do the same thing, tie the knot, secure it into place, and the bracelet itself is done at that point. Just remember to make that knot very tight. So at that point you could technically just tie both sides together, but then it's going to be harder to take it on and off because you'd have to untie it every time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn how to make square knots to make it so that the bracelet slides on and off. Alright, so go ahead and cut off the extra string and line it up so that this two ends are right next to each other in this way. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab an extra piece of string. You can pick whatever color you want out of the ones you have. Just, it doesn't have to be that long. You're gonna put it under both strings, and then you're gonna create a loop on the left. We're gonna be making like a pretzel shape. So make a left loop, and then you're gonna bring the right one over the left string. And then you're going to grab that one that you just put over the left string. You can see struggling with gravity. You're going to put that one now under the bracelet and through the loop. So you just see how it's a little pretzel shape. And that is the first half of the square knot. In order to complete the square knot, you now have to do the same thing but on the opposite side. So now I'm going to loop the right over the bracelet, like so, and then bring the left over the bracelet, over the right side of the string, and then under the bracelet and through the loop. So now that is one completed square knot. So I'm just trying to show you so you can see it. And I would recommend you do 3 or 4 of these. It's not necessarily like, it really doesn't matter how many you do. You can do a couple. But yeah, you do it again. So left loop, right over and under and through the left loop. So there you go. So that's one side, and now right loop over the bracelet, left string over the right string, and then under the bracelet and through the right loop. And that's another completed square knot. Then you just keep on doing that a couple times. After you finish your square knots, then you just lightly tie the two ends to themselves. Just a regular knot. just to secure it so that it doesn't come apart, or to make it harder for it to come apart. I've seen you can put clear nail polish on there to help keep it from coming apart as well, but I just did the 2 knots and I think it's gonna be fine. It should be enough to hold it. Maybe you make a couple more knots if you wanted to. And that's it. That is the whole tutorial. You should be able to slide your bracelet back and forth now to open it and close it. Alright guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and this craft time with me. I think it can be really fun to actually get these kind of things done when you're finally completed with it. You look at it and you see what you've created. It's pretty fun. I am going to be wearing mine for the rest of the summer. I am looking forward to seeing your guys' bracelets. I love seeing your guys' crafts. Thanks for sharing, you guys. You guys are awesome. I hope you're having a great summer. And I really hope you like your bracelet. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good week.